All right, let's try this again. Hello, hello, everybody. So we had a little bit of a issue there. Um, I'm sorry about that. That doesn't usually happen. So you were talking about how you're doing a TikTok video and the music kind of coincides. You were mentioning how the music kind of coincides with what's going on in the video, right?
Yeah.
What made you want to do? What made you want to do something like that?
No, I think about I was thinking about like branding off, seeing like different ideas, like we're coming up with different styles of besides streaming, because obviously like I've been streaming too much. I at least gotta try something new, and that's what I was thinking of, like just branding off and checking something else.
Well, no, that's cool. That's cool. Because I've been thinking about that. I've definitely been thinking about changing the map here, change it to something. Oh, shit. See, so I don't do shit like that. So I don't accidentally click something. Like I can change that black, and it'll give us a couple extra frames. At least it should give us some extra frames. What you're not seeing is that where like where the non-performers go, where the casting or not the cast, but where the crew goes, it's over there. I can't show it because then I had to resituate the cameras. So how
Yeah.
did you get into want to stream VR chat?
Well, it began, I believe it was like last year. No, actually a few months back, during the beginning of the year. I really didn't have nothing else to do, so I just decided to stream VR chat. And I kind of met a lot of interesting people during that time because I was coping from depression,
Oh
and
shit.
so I couldn't really, yeah, I couldn't really do anything outside of being myself most of the time. So I decided to like trust in like seeing new people on VRC and who to talk to. And that's when I met a group of other people that do streaming way more better than I do. And they became my friends.
Oh
And
yeah.
so after that, I ended up making more friends out of them and meeting popular people. I'm like, wow, this is really interesting to me. And so I ended up coming back to VRC. They started rating me. I started like talking to them more, uh, being a part of their group. And I'm like, yay! I'm hoping that like next time when I do see them, it will be much more interesting. And then it did. It became more interesting. We ended up going to like certain places, talking, playing, and then going to basically VR Chat Con for the first time. I'm like, wow, this is so amazing. It evolved, and it evolved more over time. I started to know them more, and we became like a whole family. And so that's why I started it's not this whole thing is not the reason why I streamed in the beginning, but it's where I ended up growing most of the time.
Shit. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty awesome. That's how long have you had that group together?
I had um I had that group for nearly 6 months already.
Oh shit. That's cool.
Yeah,
And then when did
I
you
had
start VR
previous
chat?
group members. Oh,
No, I'm sorry, I
uh,
interrupted. You said you had previous group members. Go ahead and tell me that part.
yeah, I had previous group. Well, before I met the group that am with now, I had others that they ended up talking to back then, but uh, I wanted to see who else I can befriend before I got back to them and just talked and played, because they usually are like Nintendo fans, just going
Yeah.
in and playing whatever, and that wasn't my style, obviously. So
Yeah.
I decided to brand off and try something else. So that's where I met that group.
Well, that's cool. How did you get into VR chat?
Pardon?
How did you get into VR chat?
Oh, that was when I was interested in VR. That was like about 5 years ago. I was interested in VR when like the Oculus Rift came out, and I heard about VR chat a long time ago. And I was wanting to get VR at an interest, but I ended up playing VR chat on desktop mode in the beginning, but then I ended up wanting to get more out of whatever the experience was. And so I ended up buying my own computer off of Amazon, parts of them, piece by piece. And then
Yeah,
from
that's
there,
what I
I
did.
ended up, yeah, I ended up putting it all together. And then after that, when it was done, I decided to buy VR
Yeah.
secretly from my father because he didn't want me to waste around like $500 on a headset. But it was worth it. It was worth
Oh
it because
yeah,
it
it
was
is.
like
It's like
VR
worth
is a
every
game
penny.
changer.
It is.
Yeah.
People don't give it enough credit. I mean, oh yeah, you know, I'll get. So what a lot of people have in mind is that they don't want to get into VR until it's like Ready Player One. I mean, like by the time that it's Ready Player One, you're going to be totally VR illiterate. You know, it's good. It's good to get into VR now because you know you'll be walking in there with no VR experience at all.
Hmm.
So it's good. It's good to get in early like that. At least that's what I think.
Well, I believe that whoever takes that leap into VR, such as me, would have a very great time. They're gonna have interesting experience from different titles besides VR chat.
Yeah.
Because I've tried mostly every different ones, and some of them were scary, some of them were breathtaking, and others would make you cry. Like honestly, like VR in itself, it like anyone could like look it up on YouTube or something, a video of someone playing VR, but they have to experience it to believe it. Feels like it's breathtaking. It
It
really
really
is.
can be.
None of this would have existed. Yeah, and none of this existed in the past. So like, it's interesting now to be a part of VR now because like if someone get on it now at this year, you have that full experience of VR because back then it was just a headset all in its own. But now that we got touch controllers, full body, uh, uh, the station for you can walk in virtual reality,
Yeah.
it's all just game changing, and it's gonna get better from here on out. So it's good to hop on that train now before it gets better.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking great. I was talking to Nessedon. You may have run into him before. He's the plague doctor that has like a little jar on his pouch that kind of shakes, so the liquid kind of shakes whenever he moves around. I was talking to him, and he was saying that more and more people are becoming PC illiterate because they're not really that familiar with file hierarchies. For example, you might have like family photos, right? So you go to family photos and you have all your vacations in there, right? And then you click on vacation 2019, and then you might have it sorted by each date, right? And then you go to each date, and then maybe you even have location, right? So, the Grand Rapids or Appalachia or wherever. I mean, if you go that far in a day, I mean, shit. But if a lot of people are starting to not be able to understand that because on their phones they're used to all the files there being in one place instead of having to dig through shit. Which is why I kind of think that it's a good idea for people to adopt VR early. I mean, it's not necessarily early right now. I'd say that it's um, there will obviously be a second renaissance, but I think that last year might have been the first renaissance for VR because everybody was stuck at home and people got this VR shit and they started playing all these VR games, and VR chat, and VR became even more popular to the point to where businesses use it in their internal memos. I've been privy to several different companies' internal memos, and a lot of them for their employees. And they're not like secret internal memos; they're like basically newsletters, and they use VR chat and that VR, and that's one thing that kind of like you see like these people. They'll be like you'll see like videos of people with their bare hands having some cheap Windows mixed reality on their heads, and they'll like pretend to pull out a book and be like, they'll just be like, oh, they're not really fucking doing it, right? But meaning, imagine like Zoom being outdated because of VR. That's what I would like to see. I don't want anyone to lose their job, but I think that it'd be really cool if VR was the future of like meetings and stuff. Imagine your company
Well, technically,
supplying you with your own avatars for whatever program they have.
Yeah. Well, technically, that's already happening. I'm not sure if you've seen online on certain products, but like, it's already been told that VR, since it's now portable, a lot of VR users are already getting into, VR because of its portability. Talking about like the Quest is one of them, along with like the Vive Cosmos or any other portable VR.
Or that new
Some of them
Vive
are already
out.
in companies. Yeah,
or the
that
HTC,
one.
the one that's basically like Ready Player One goggles.
Yes, I've heard it's called it's from Vive. Yeah, I just don't remember the name, but a lot of people are comparing it to like the Ready Player One goggles.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We definitely need.
Either way, like it's still interesting. Sorry, it's still interesting because like some of them are already in companies' hands and using it for financial reasons, or like able to work on how do you say, like in work or in projects that they're working on.
That's a good idea.
Because I've seen it at high school.
Like for example, you could have an airplane that you can take apart and put together in a 3D program. That way, like if you or like certain cars, let's say you need to work on a car and you don't know where a certain item is, and you can go in VR, right? And you could it would probably be mixed reality, right? So you'd put your goggles on, look at the car, that it would scan it and it would know what model it is, and then it would highlight like a little orange or a little light would flash where it is, and you'd stand there and look over at the engine like, okay, so I got to take, and it'll highlight what you have to take out to get to it. So that kind of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they had this idea in the beginning in 2018, before the headsets were portable. I'm not sure if you've heard of a headset called Microsoft HoloLens.
Yes, I'm vaguely familiar with that.
Yeah, so they had this. Microsoft had their own VR headset that they were going to basically allow users and developers to allow them to work on future projects, such as like what you described as a holographic vehicle with its parts already attached, but you can adjust the parts, adjust their size or color or anything like that. There was also visions of them able to call their coworkers on it and still see the project in front of them. It worked on, their focus on it was to allow them to see holograms in the real world, but that project was flopped and basically abandoned. And a lot of people were expecting it, but they didn't have the the efficient technology to basically allow it to show what people were expecting. Because I've seen people already purchase the headset, and some of them are not satisfied with how little window do they see. Because they would expect an entire window of them, just like how you use your own headset. The lenses were so small that you could barely see any holograms around you.
Oh, that's horse shit.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real fucking tight because my vision ends right about here. I can just barely see a few pixels or several pixels of my finger, just barely. That's where my vision ends, right there. Wait, hang on. Can I get a little? Yeah, but once it gets like, you know, full view, that'll be really, really. I mean, VR is already exciting, and I mean, but just every day, you know, somebody shows me something new in like Blender, or teaches me something new, or mentions something new in Unity, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, you can bake. So when you go to a world, you probably made a world before, right? Or at least seen somebody make it. If you look at, when you go to maps, you'll see how when they don't have like real time lighting. You go to a map, you'll see a shadow there, right? And you wave your hand over the shadow, but you don't see your arm. That's baked lighting, pretty much. And it kind of like imprints the shadows onto the texture or onto the other items. Well, you can do something similar with like blankets and towels and like cloth products, you know, or like leather or whatever. And that's really cool too. The technology is like is pretty damn advanced, you know, as it is as far as a lot of this stuff goes. And growing up, you know, we had no idea. Is that the heater running? That feels like the heater's running. That is not good. But I'm always excited to see how advanced these programs get. Holy shit, it's hot in here. Hang on a second. I gotta run over here and. Why does it feel? It feels like it's like really fucking hot in here. I have to turn that shit all the way down. Holy Hanukkah wizard.
No, you're just like me. I don't have any AC in my house.
I might have to go over here and open up a window. Holy cats. I don't normally do this, but damn. All right. Oh, no! How'd I get over here?
What the hell?
Damn, that heater is blowing hard. It is fighting. It is. I'm definitely crashing. I'm definitely crashing tonight, because it is at least 75 degrees in this room, and my computer won't be able to hold past that. And if it does, I'm probably just gonna end the stream. Hang on one second. But yeah, but the technology is pretty incredible. I mean, what are you hoping to see out of VR in the next year or two?
Well, I'm excited for one specific product to come out, and this is available for like all Quest users to use. Since I am myself a Quest user, I'm hoping to see a full body application for Quest. And I know, like, it could be impossible because obviously you have to have a tracker and stuff for it, but they already have that idea because they have this sort of trackers called the Lumo. I forgot the name of the product. I'm just making it up. Yeah.
That's a good name.
They have these. Yeah. So what it does is, like, it's the same thing as the HTC Vive trackers, except these only track individually. Each of them track individually, and it calibrates, like, knowing where you're stepping on. Since the Quest needs to have a clear vision of what you're touching, such as like my hands, they had to be in front of me in order for it to track, because the cameras to track my hands. But
Right,
how
yeah.
they did it was that there's like a motion detector inside, just like any smartphone. It has motion detector where it calibrates what
Oh yeah, like an
where
accelerometer
your
or
phone is
whatever.
tilting. Yeah, accelerometer. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. And so like they did that with this product, and it works beautifully.
Does it
Like
really?
it knows exact. Yes, I could send you a video of it, and it works beyond amazing. It is a Kickstarter program, but it's already coming to a point where it's now gonna be a full product for people to buy and store now, since they already made around $1 million on the product for testers and users to use. And a lot of people love it, and they're making upgrades for it, and I'm kind of excited to see what happens next year for it to be a full product, because this is like so cheap. These things are so cheap because they're plastic,
Oh fuck.
but they work really well. I I'm hoping if I do get it, I'll test it. I'll make a review out of it and tell people like, hey, this is a really interesting product. It might not be worth the whole money wasted, but to me, it's worth it. Because honestly, buying another headset in order to get full body tracking is a waste.
At least until the Index 2 comes out.
That's true.
Imagine this, the Index 2. All right, so it'll have better finger tracking, so you'll be able to point with your non-middle finger easier. You'll be able to. Now this is the dream. This is not actually what they're doing, right? This is just wishes, right? It'll track your eyes. It won't track your mouth. I'm thinking it might. Well, it might track your mouth if like Quest or Facebook makes one that tracks your mouth. It'll like track your mouth but not your eyes, and then Index will track your eyes but not your mouth, and Valve will come out with one that just tracks your mouth but not your eyes, or some shit like that. It'll be something stupid like that. But no more running up to your friends and saying hi, Joeyrock, while you're looking at somebody else and their eyes move down there. But then it'll actually track your eyes where you're looking. It'll kind of take the fun out of how everyone always has an avatar looking at them. But that'll be fun. That'll be cool, and that's exciting. But I understand not wanting to spend more money just to spend more money to have full body. But what are some other games you played?
Yeah.
Have you played Sniper Elite?
I have not played Sniper Elite. I've heard of it.
It's pretty great.
Just haven't been interested.
Sniper Elite is very rewarding when you kill someone with the with the sniper, and you don't alert anyone. Like for example, someone might walk on top of like a ledge, like a wooden ledge, like a balcony, and you can like a generator will start, right? A generator will kick on, and then you fire as the generator's on, so they won't hear the bullet. You'll shoot like a strut on a balcony, causing it to collapse and maybe landing on someone beneath you. There's a mission in one of the Sniper Elite games. I think you have to kill Hitler in every game, but there's a mission in one of them to where so you don't know if it's a bodyguard, or you don't know if it's a double or if it's actually Hitler. But one thing you can do, you can he'll go and sit down at a table, and if you want to kill him, I think one of the things is you have to get all the notes, get like 3 or 4 notes, and then choose to assassinate him or not. So you shoot the bell, and the bell will fall and crush him. Bong! Most kills are pretty hilarious in that game. Pretty great.
Yeah.
So I was wanting to ask, what are some of your like inspirations for like your work? Like what inspires your work?
Mostly just the people that I meet is mostly where I get inspired by. But I also am inspired by others who take the extra mile to not become famous, but to become inspirational. Basically be more creative with their work. And obviously, a lot of people have seen me, have explained and told me that you're mostly creative. I don't see that in myself, to be honest, because I haven't done anything in a while. But I take their word for it because obviously I don't see the things that I do sometimes, and a lot of people have given me compliments about it. So I think that I just need a little bit more time to think about where I want to exactly go with what I want to do, because obviously I've been streaming for nearly an entire 2 years now.
Damn.
Actually, no, 3. An entire 3 years now, and it hasn't gone anywhere besides just meeting new people. But I want to be able to brand off and see what else I can do, learn new skills and new ideas, so that way I can at least come back with a warm smile and tell people that I did this and to go check it out or something.
What do you what are some of the other brands you want to do? Like make your own world that people can go to or something? I don't know. Maybe you have made a world, and I just, I'm just too smooth brained to have figured that out by now.
I'm mostly focusing right now on, I think mostly just to try to make videos, because like honestly streaming is part of making videos, but at least like cutting off and learning how to edit better is
Mm-hmm.
a better
Me
idea.
too. Yeah, I want to be able to
But
edit
I
better.
also, yeah, I also want to come up with building and making avatars,
Yeah, same,
because
same.
I want to make my own unique avatars
Yeah, me
of my
too.
own design. But I don't have that skill, and obviously I've been asking for people's advice on how to do it, but I haven't gone to that. And I'm having this idea already that I have aside from that. I got like a list of things that I want to ask for a commission on, and hopefully it's good, and hopefully the designer actually does it in a way I want it to be envisioned.
That's hard. That's
But
hard.
only time will tell. Yeah.
Yeah, because you have an idea, and I mean, you realize how bad you are at describing what you see in your head to other people when you try to get someone to make an avatar for you. Now I know some like Teddy's really good at that. Teddy's really good at understanding what you want on an avatar and that sort of shit. But other people might not really pay much attention to you. That like, oh shit, that's a fuckload of work. It's not. I mean, for somebody who can make avatars, asking to like align this. I mean, I'm not really too serious about getting this aligned because I got another avatar coming out, but um, I understand about materials. I can do materials kind of somewhat, like textures. I'm not great at it. I'm okay. I'm not adept. I'm definitely a novice for sure. But it takes work, and whenever you make an avatar, it might take 20, 30 minutes to a few hours to maybe even a day to getting an answer on how you do a certain thing, because you go by the time someone. All right, so let's say that you want to do something. Oh, let me go look it up. Oh, look at that. That's the old version of Unity. You can't do that now. So I'm definitely stuck trying to figure that shit out myself. But you should definitely do that. I'd highly recommend it. I would love to see what avatars you can come up with.
Yeah.
The have you ever tried to dabble in making worlds or anything?
No, not really. I had that vision of making new worlds, but I haven't really gone the extra mile to do it. Um, I don't have the necessary tools or learning curve to use Unity or Blender to make a world exactly. So
It takes
I
time.
don't
I'm
know.
working on one.
I still have that. Yeah, I still have that vision of seeing a world of mine in VR, but only time will tell, because obviously, like, probably in the near future, I'll probably think about doing that. But for now, I guess I gotta go little by little.
Yeah, yeah. I think you'll figure it out eventually. Eventually, you'll be helping people out figure shit out as long as you stick to it. Okay, for some reason my sex box just turned on. Do you what are some of your favorite things to do in VR chat when you're not streaming?
Um, well, it's kind of hard to say because like I mostly just spend my time talking to people. Well, not in these days. I haven't talked to most people at all. I'm mostly just silent sometimes. But when I do get on offline, it's either to go talk to someone about something or just check out new worlds that people have uploaded or play a mini game just to pass the time.
Yeah. You know they updated Murder for Halloween and I think it looks gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's spoopy. It's spoopy. I mean it looks better. It looks much better than the original. Like like Jar needs to come up with I want to see what Murder 5 would be, but I definitely think they might want to maybe add some new like qualities and features to it. Played that for like an hour last night. It was great. So you said you got into VR chat as of a couple years ago. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah, what was that like? I mean, what made you want to play VR chat?
I saw, to be honest, like, I mostly was just interested in getting into VR and seeing what it was about. But when I got it already and I tried it, it was mostly just to get away from the sense of like real life and stuff. So obviously, like,
Fair.
uh, but I believe that the reason why I decided to do that was because um I really wanted to see what I can do amongst like being just in solo desktop mode. Because like I thought VR would be the next step to like what gaming would be like. Because obviously we had console wars back in the days. And
Yeah,
obviously I was I was mostly just a Nintendo fan
back in the
in the
day.
days, but then I heard about yeah, and then I heard about Xbox Live. I ended up getting an Xbox 360 from there, and I tried other things, and then I wanted a computer, and so the just stuff that happened just went little by little getting to that step because obviously I began with console, and then I went up to PC, and then VR. And I thought this was the next step into what gaming is going to be now instead of like consoles, but obviously consoles are still around. VR is getting better, and just new things are coming out, and obviously I like to be a part of that. And hopefully in the next years or so, I'll be able to still be a part of that, and basically be envisioned with the idea of just, oh wow, a gamer from 1996 to the present year has made it this far.
96.
Yeah,
Damn.
I started playing games when I was 5 years old, literally. My only system I ever had was like a Game Boy. That was my first ever system I ever had. And then after that, I branded off, grabbing other consoles, and then and obviously I was sided with like the Xbox, but I wasn't mostly interested in it at the time. And then after that, I got Nintendo, and things just changed after there. Like I've been a gamer since.
What's your favorite console? Like, what do you think's the best console?
Oh my god, I can't.
First one, then the other.
I can't say what my favorite console is, because like there's a lot of them I already tried, and I had a lot of great experience just trying each and every one of them, and it has brought me joy. But if I were to choose my favorite, it would have to be. Oh my gosh, it would have to be the N64.
Okay, that's a good answer.
My favorite console is the N64.
I would have
Because
also accepted
I
PlayStation 2.
never... But I just like Nintendo 64 was the only thing I started off with. Obviously, others have like other opinions because obviously the PlayStation 2 did came out that year, yes. But I still think that the N64 is by far great because it introduced me to 3D dimension that I didn't think was possible. And for someone who was in playing games at like a 2D level, because they didn't have 3D at the time, it was so cool to collect these games and try different things. Because like my first ever N64 game I ever played was Toy Story 2, and it was kind of fun playing it on there, and then like a lot of exploration. And then after that, I was branded off and played Zelda. And it became like one of my favorite titles ever since.
Yeah,
then
it's definitely in the
after
top
that, I ended up
30.
Yeah. And then after that, I ended up purchasing a PlayStation 2, and one of the games out of there was Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, I love Kingdom Hearts. Oh, dude, I beat that first one on Final Mix mode.
They didn't have Final Mix at the time, and
well, yeah, not then, obviously.
When I got into Kingdom Hearts, it was because it was during when my older sister came with a friend over to her house, and she wanted to try out the PlayStation 2 with us. And she had a game that was Kingdom Hearts, the first game, and I didn't even know what it was. I thought it was a little bit boring, but then she told me to get into the swing of it. I tried it. She let me borrow it for a week, and I got so addicted that I wanted to borrow the title to play the entire game. And then 2002 came around. I think it was 2005. 2005 came around, and I ended up purchasing the second game along with the first one. And so I ended up buying both of them. I started looking at Kingdom Hearts as my favorite game. I wanted to build a Keyblade of my own. I was a kid back then. I had like such a huge imagination with like that title, and so honestly, Kingdom Hearts has been one of my top favorites besides Zelda.
Fucking, I went as Zexion to an anime convention. You know, blue hair, cloak. I got a huge cloak that looked just like it from the game. I got these boots that came in a big pink box, and I got these sexy ass dinner gloves to go with it. The problem is that was before. That was like right before phones. Well, I didn't. I had a shitty phone, so if I had an iPhone, I wouldn't have needed to take my gloves off. But I had a shitty phone, so I had to keep taking the glove off, and it stretched it a lot. So they were. It was a pretty expensive get-up, but I agree. Kingdom Hearts is pretty fucking amazing. Which one's your favorite?
By far, Kingdom Hearts 2. It's gotta be Kingdom Hearts 2. It was like, there was so much more in it.
Yeah.
That just made it so much more interesting. The drive forms, along with different keylays, different styles, the combat playing, like, there was a lot in the second game that they went out all out. It's like they went all out.
Oh yeah, that's pretty. There's some pretty intense. Well, there's some pretty intense fights in both, but first and second. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 was pretty amazing. I remember I was so excited to play that when I got it. What's your favorite world in Kingdom Hearts out of all the games?
The Lion King world in Kingdom Hearts 2. It's just that there was so much more fast paced on it. It's like the combat in that world was so much more faster. Not only were you a lion, but you were also like so quick with a keyblade, so fast compared to like how you are as a human in combat. Being a lion is just like twice the speed and so much more faster.
Man, I need to go back through and play those games again. I played the first one on Final Mix. I need to play the Chain of Memories on Final Mix or whatever.
I currently own all of the titles on PC, and I was still playing Kingdom Hearts 2, just leveling up the dry forms just now.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Those are fun ass games. They're really great. They're really fun, really fun. There's some fan made ones too that I've seen that they have like worlds that aren't in the official releases.
No, yeah, that's definitely like secrets in the game.
But have you played the first game on Final Mix?
Oh no, yeah, I did play Final Mix. There's still a boss in there that I haven't defeated yet.
Yeah.
Which is I'm not spoiling it for anyone, obviously, because this game has been out for quite a while now. It's a secret boss in Hollow Bastion, where you fight one of the organization members, and the organization member is basically Xemnas from the future.
I did that. Yeah, I think I beat that one.
He comes back. Yeah. He is the most toughest one in Kingdom Hearts 1 that I faced before. And I haven't even beaten him yet. And so, like, I gotta go back to it and try to defeat him. But out of all the other bosses that were so difficult to me that I couldn't defeat, has got to go down as, like, the most toughest one that I had so much trouble with. Has to be Yuzora from Kingdom Hearts 3.
I haven't played. I hadn't played Kingdom Hearts 3 yet. I hadn't played it. That one and Dream Drop Distance are the only one. That one, Dream Drop Distance, and the Shores of Harmony, whatever the newest one that came out is. Because the new one that came out, the rhythm game, it's supposed to be canon, so I have to get that one eventually. But that is one of my favorite franchises for sure. That's a big thing. So you ever thought about doing excuse me, damn. Have you ever thought about doing scripted work?
What's that?
Like in VR, where you write a script and you perform it out, like I did with VR Chat Court.
No, I just wing it. I mostly just wing it, come up with my own ideas.
Well, I mean, like story-wise, because that's something I have planned. Maybe once I get done finishing the world, if that ever happens, and then maybe I'll start working on the script for my next video. Look at this. Ace Face wants me to join them in the castle. I thought Ace Face was in my friends list. All right. But no, that's definitely something that's pretty fun. It's always good to have things planned ahead. Come up with goals that you have. I always try to have a goal for me, and a lot of your goals seem like that you've got some pretty focused hopes. You know. I mean, you got like what, 1,500 followers or whatever. I mean, how long did that take you?
Yeah. 1,050 followers. It took me about roughly just 2 years to achieve.
Oh yeah. All right.
Because in the beginning, I got affiliated so quickly.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks to a lot of help from people.
I think it was an interview. I think it was a Twisty 10,000 interview. I had like 7 viewers the entire time. Like the same 7 viewers watched the whole time. And I think that's what pushed me over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
To getting affiliate, you know?
Yeah.
So you yeah, I've been watching a few of your streams. Today you played Dread Out. Is that what you played? Did I see that?
Oh my god, yes. Oh god. Yes, I did play it. It was yesterday, and honestly, I regret it. Cause I didn't know it was gonna be like that terrifying. Cause my screen in real life was so close to my face. Well, not that close, but like close enough to to get spooked. And so dread out I've heard of the game before.
Me too.
I've read the
Yeah.
story, and I was kind of interested in trying it out for myself because back then when I saw other people playing it had a really interesting story to it. I hate horror in general, but this was something I couldn't pass on. It was just so cool to try it out, and there is a second sequel to it, and I'm hoping to play it some other time on stream. But
Oh,
yeah.
I got Yeetus. I totally didn't realize that that I still had my fan running like some kind of novice. Definitely novice scope just then. I mean, it's pretty awful having that fan go. Yeah, these
Eating over there.
well, the reason why is that these things have hitboxes. These damn things, man. What way to ruin his streams by having that fucking fan running the whole time. I guess because it was so hot, I didn't think otherwise. I'm not sweating like crazy anymore. I mean, my shirt.
Yeah,
Hey, Mountain Man, my shirt was completely soaked, so I'm gonna have to change.
Yeah, well, not everyone is perfect, obviously, so that's why.
I'm gonna have to. Well, you're actually getting pretty. You have to stand behind that camera. See, you have to stand behind that. Please don't. Yeah, please don't touch that though either. But yeah, you can watch if you want. What was I saying? Oh yeah, it was just so damn cold I didn't even think about it. I mean, so hot I didn't think about it. But yeah, you're not a big fan of horror games, huh?
Nope, I am not. I am not a big fan of horror games. There's like type of horrors that just go way too far with having to scare me. Noises in the distance to
Oh yeah, those are great.
an instant jump scare that you don't expect. For instance, like some of them that I do hate are the ones where like you don't expect it to happen, but it does. Or ones where they're at your like in the middle of like at your face.
Yeah, so
Is
like
where it scares me.
that kind of gets is kind of is one of the things in Resident Evil 7 that I didn't really like was that they're how a lot of the enemies would just get in your face. Like early on, there's a character that just kind of pops up and it's just like ah, ah, ah. And I'm just like, this shit shoving in my face is just kind of annoying. Not really that scary because it was designed for both to be an first person game and VR game. So they had to add in a bunch of that VR stuff, which is, by the way, is the second time Capcom has done shit like that. The second CG movie, Resident Evil Damnation, has a lot of characters getting up and like, Johnny, we have to get moving. I'm just like, it's ridiculous because most people aren't even going to see that in 3D.
No, they just
anyway.
follow. Yeah, they just follow a formula that is basically the genre of horror.
Still a good game.
It's someone
Still a good
being
show though.
at your
Good
face.
movie.
No, yeah. But I'm excited. There is one horror game that I'm excited for besides Dread Out,
What's that?
which is the current one that's going to be released on this Friday. I'm not sure if you heard. It's Resident Evil 4 VR for Quest.
So I actually have some gripes about that. So all the cutscenes are going to be in first person, but you're going to be standing on like in a dark room, a dark concrete room, and there'll be the cutscene projected in front of you. And then whenever you do a quick time event, it changes to the projector. So, like if you get grabbed by an enemy and you tap that A button, you get instantly transported to the projector room, and you have to like look at the screen in game. There'll be a screen in game you'll look at, just like this. Be a screen and tap 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 tap. So it's not like you'll have to be running
Yeah.
in first person. So that's kind of game breaking for me. But I think the game's gonna be like super fucking easy.
Well, we have to understand that this game came out in such a late time. They didn't have the idea of making it all in first person. It's in
Well,
VR or something like that.
they're basically remaking it from the ground up because they can't use the same code, right? I mean, there'll be some
they
things that
can't.
hold over. Like enemy AI has to change. Have to make the enemy AI smarter to be able to attack someone who can move around in a 3D space. But it's definitely gonna be a lot easier. I think it's pretty easy. The game was pretty easy originally. However, I did have a leg up. I had the Resident Evil 4 demo for like a few months before the game came out, so I got really, really good at the game. So by the time I started at the game, I was as badass at it as Leon was. But I'm excited. You have to tell me how it is. You have to stream it. Since I don't have a Quest, I'm not.
No,
never,
yeah, I'm planning on streaming
never gonna
it.
be able to play it.
Wait.
That's one of my favorite games.
I'm hoping that they actually have the mercenary title, or how do you say, like the
mercenary mode,
game
yeah.
mode mercenary, because
Yeah. That'll be. I don't know. They're definitely gonna have to do something to make it more challenging. Now, here's something that's interesting. So I think San Andreas is somewhat similar. We talked about earlier how I had been playing it. So in San Andreas, there's a part where you have to get a lowrider. Someone gives you a lowrider. You take it to the lowrider meet, and you have to win the hydraulics competition. I was using a Xbox Series X controller, and it wouldn't fucking work. So I had to switch it to my mechanical keyboard. And I think it was supposed to get harder the better you were, but in Resident Evil 4, it definitely gets harder the better you do. There's a specific room you go to in the last later in the game, after halfway through. You walk into this room. Now, if you suck shit at the game, there won't be a fuckload of enemies in there. But if you kick serious ass, there will be an absolute shit ton of enemies in there. They'll just be crawling out of the woodwork. So I hope that they keep that aspect of it. The game gets harder the better at it you are. It's supposed to keep the game challenging. And there is a specific challenge. But my advice is that if you want to conserve ammo in that game, shoot them in the leg, and when they react, you slice at them with your knife. And when they react again from that, you do the quick time event. And you'll conserve a shitload of ammo. Sorry,
I know that method. Yeah,
it's one of my favorite games. I've beaten it at a bare minimum like 50 times. At a minimum, 50 times.
There is a whole lot of really cool stuff that happens in RE4, but there are some downsides to it that I'm gonna hate playing in VR, which is seeing the old villains again, and some of them are creepy as hell. And I can explain one. Like, there's you remember that parasite one where it just, like, if you shot in the leg or something, it regenerates so quickly? It does like a hissing sound.
Oh yeah, the regenerators.
Yeah, the regenerators. I'm gonna hate looking at that. And then there's the second hand one. Yeah, and then there's the second right hand one, which is the one that the kid sends to you. And he's in the sewer.
Well,
and you
how do
basically
you know
don't
he's
see
23
him.
or 32? He's an adult. But dude, that's one of my favorite bosses. That's one of my favorite bosses. You know, you have the striker. You blast him with the shotgun, and he falls back, and you run up and you kick down the liquid nitrogen, and you shoot the liquid nitrogen, and he freezes, and you just start blowing him away. And then
that's the part I'm gonna hate. I'm gonna hate that part.
I might get it. I want. It
'Cause I
makes
always
me want to
thought he
get a
was
Quest
creepy.
just to play it, even though I can't afford it. I still got to find a way to get that shit to play one of my favorite games. I'm excited that you get to. I'm excited to see you play it.
Oh no, yeah, I'm letting everybody else know. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna try Resident Evil 4
Hey, Rabbit.
if I get
Hello,
a chance.
Rabbit. Don't forget to give us a follow, Rabbit, if you are still viewing. And hi, little gamer. Oh wait, you can't see us. It was hi. So yeah, what's some of your favorite parts in Resident Evil 4?
It's been a while since I played Resident Evil 4. I think my favorite part has to be is mostly when you meet the merchant. When you meet the merchant to purchase stuff, it's just like buying weapons is so cool. But my favorite part out of all of them is fighting there was one of them. It was the one in the water. It's like the fish.
Oh yeah, I should know the name of that. Oh fuck. So I saw a video of that fight in VR, and I gotta say I'm not happy at all. In fact, I'm really pissed off.
Why?
In the VR version, someone was showing that fight. They were using a shotgun.
So wait, you're not throwing a spear?
I guess not.
Because you usually use the spears in the game. Oh god, that's gonna be more tough then. You're gonna have to save ammo. But probably there will be an option that you can use a gun in the game, because obviously all of it's in VR, so I'm guessing you can grab the stuff underneath you as well.
I don't know. I hope that was just a test. One of my problems is that now that I'm thinking about it, remember how I explained how quick time events and cutscenes and shit will be in the projector room in theater mode? Let's just call it theater mode.
Yeah.
There's a point when you run into when certain enemies, like a certain enemy picks you up, even if you can't. Damn, the heater just turned on again. Even if they can't, you can't do a quick time event with it. That's still gonna be. I think that's still gonna be in theater mode. So like if like an animal or it's affecting an animal jumps on you and attacks you, well, boom, it's gonna throw you into theater mode. I mean, all the more reason just to get good and never have that happen. You know?
Yeah, that'll be confusing, that part where it's going in between theater mode and VR. Like, I could get the idea why they did it, but it would have been great if there was like less of that, because there's a lot of that in this game. So hopefully they find some idea to.
There's a shitload of it.
Oh my god.
I'm okay.
What the fuck?
I lost tracking. Probably something to do with the heat changing. Temperature in the room
yeah.
rocketing from 68 to 75 and like just a few in like less than a minute. But I hope the game does good. I hope everybody fucking loves that game. I mean, just fucking think about this. Fucking we played that game when we were little fucking kids, and now there's a bunch of stupid fucking little kids that are gonna get to play it too, who shouldn't be playing it, and maybe we shouldn't have been playing it. But it's definitely it's fucking exciting as shit. I mean, Leon is one of the most popular characters in Resident Evil next to Jill.
Yeah, until he becomes an alcoholic.
Yeah, that was fucked in Vendetta. How he's, I mean, how many times has he had his people die on him?
I know. It's a common. I know. Yeah, it's a common occurrence. It's like it doesn't leave him. The whole horror of the zombie apocalypse, along with like the whole Plaga and everything else that he's been through, is coming back to haunt him.
Well, think of it like this, right? So you're an adult. Leon was what, 21 in Resident Evil 2. So your whole childhood is a fucking normal childhood, and all of a sudden, when you step into adulthood, most of the skills that you, aside from your combat skills, most of the skills that you learned growing up are useless now. Not as bad as like
True.
The Walking Dead, but like there's not a lot of room for fucking around. One of my favorite moments, Leon S. Kennedy moments, is when he's on that platform in Degeneration. I don't know if you've seen it, but in Degeneration, he's on that fucking platform, and he just books it like someone just fucking injected him with emu blood or something. You know, he just running full speed, and he's like sliding over all that shit and diving under the pipe or sliding under the pipes and like just, you know, it's just some fucking bomb ass shit. And some of the ridiculous stuff that he does. It's a pretty fun movie. I recommend it. Resident Evil Degeneration. And then there's Damnation, and then Vendetta. And then Infinite Darkness takes place after Degeneration, but I recommend watching Degeneration last. Have you seen Degeneration yet?
I haven't watched any of the Resident Evil movies.
Oh my god! So there's three CG Resident Evil movies: Degeneration, Damnation, and Vendetta. They all follow Leon. In Degeneration, it's Leon and Claire. Leon and Claire. In Damnation, it's Leon and Ada. In Resident Evil Vendetta, it's Leon, Chris, and Rebecca. And it's pretty... There's a few things that happen in Vendetta. It's just like... Did anybody fucking else just see that shit? And I'm looking around at the other people, and they're just like... And they're just still watching. I'm like... It's still a great movie, and I highly recommend watching them all. The CG ones are canon. And we've been talking a lot about... Resident Evil. For someone who doesn't like horror, you seem to like Resident Evil 4 because there are some pretty fucked up moments in that game.
No, yeah. But like, I played it back in the day. I played it so many times, and I even have it on Switch, PC, GameCube, like Xbox as well. Like, I have the title constantly at different consoles, and it's something that I already am used to seeing. So like, putting it in VR is a whole new experience, but same story. So obviously I know what I'm expecting. When I know what I'm expecting, it's when it's not scary to me.
I think you can dual wield. You can have the knife and the guns, so you can be like...
No, yeah, I saw that part, yeah. That'll be cool.
It's gonna be... You can do CQ... Well, it'd be awesome if somebody could get that shit on Index and like mod it to where you can use fucking full body. Just imagine how intense of a workout that would be.
I mean, if this becomes successful, think about like other Resident Evil titles, such as like the Village one being in VR. Or
fuck, dude,
Resident
5.
Evil 7.
Resident Evil 5 being in VR, dude. Imagine that shit. Co-op.
Oh god, no. There were some bad things in Resident Evil 5 I'm not excited about.
Resident Evil 5
played it with a friend of mine.
It's super cheesy, but it's a fucking fun game. It is really fun.
No, yeah, it is. I played it with a friend once, and during that time, like, I didn't have the chance to finish it halfway because it was during like my wisdom teeth was hurting me, and so I had to go to the doctor for it. But I came back and told him if we can play it again, and we finished it. But I didn't think that I forgot like how the controls worked during that time because I had my wisdom teeth removed like a few months back.
Yeah, if you ever want to play through, I mean, I might end up having to buy it and start from scratch. But if you ever want to play through those,
I still haven't finished 6 actually.
What do you have 6 on?
I still haven't finished 6. I'm still playing as Leon.
No, what would you play through it as?
I'm playing on PC.
Right. Yeah, I'd play through it with you for sure. If you wanted to play through the whole fucking thing, I would do it. Definitely. It's one of my... I know that game has its problems, But it's just despite all its problems and it not being much of a Resident Evil game, I definitely think that it's still a fun game.
Yeah.
They spend a lot, dude. The one part of that game that really fucked me up. There's a point to where you get attacked and you can fall into a meat grinder. I fell into that meat grinder and that really fucked me up. Another moment in video games that really fucked me up was in Resident Evil 2. Excuse me, as Ada Wong, you stop this fan, you climb up and you run through this little tunnel that goes to the next fan. If you're not fast enough, you'll be attacked and killed by roaches. That shit fucked me up. Two other things that fucked me up. In Metal Gear Solid 3, I cried at the end of that. In in Silent Hill 2 and 3, I cried at the end of both of those. I don't know if there's any games that, moments that really stuck with you. I mean, if there are, what might they be?
I really don't know, because like I played a lot that I don't even remember myself, but I honestly don't know.
You ever had a video game make you sad?
There was one that did make me sad, which is mostly just endings of just Kingdom Hearts itself.
That's fair. Yeah, I can see how those are emotional endings. Yeah, you don't have to get into them
But there are other titles that I've tried that have brought emotion to me, and so I can't name them because I don't remember exactly. But some of them just shows you life skills in real life, or basically like being aware of things and stuff. Like a lot, you learn a lot from just gaming itself because it shows you lessons. Back then it didn't teach you those lessons in the beginning, but as games progress forward, they start to teach people more stuff in the future, or more stuff in general that they have come up with. I can't tell you what, because I myself have forgotten over the years.
No, that's fine. You'll be amazed what you forget. But you get shit that you forget. That like there's some shit that like it's really exciting whenever you actually remember. Like, oh yeah, I remember that shit. It's pretty rewarding. What game do you think you played the most, though?
What game I played the most?
Yeah. Play through the most times, or stick to the most?
That's hard to explain. I think mostly just Kingdom Hearts in general.
Yeah.
It's like a title that I never let go. That has been on with me forever.
Yeah, I've got a game like that.
That's like most of the yeah.
If not Resident Evil 4.
I don't even care what console it is, and I just buy it.
Oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, man, Kingdom Hearts is fucking great. I've got a lot of fond memories of that game. I really do. 100%ing Kingdom Hearts, the first one on Final Mix, is really a it's definitely a life-changing moment. Like, you beat Kingdom Hearts Final Mix 100% on Final Mix mode. It definitely changes your perspective on video games. It really does. That's so Final Mix, like Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, any of the first 4 Silent Hill games, Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, Resident Evil 4, Donkey Kong 64, Pokemon Gold and Silver.
I haven't finished that one yet.
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. These are all games that will really change your perspective on how you look at video games. And it's kind of a weird thing, right? Because people grow up with fucking video games, and then you got this shit where you got these world-changing video games like Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's just whenever you get everything you Metal Gear Solid 5, I still play that shit like at least a few times a week. But I think we reached a point now to where there are so many classic video games behind us. It's like it's kind of hard to go forward and find something else. I mean, you kind of got to look back, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, if you weren't a big fan of Kingdom Hearts, what would you be playing?
I think it would have to be like Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, it would just be my other title. But if it wasn't that either, I'll probably look for something else that people have been interested in seeing. But since the internet wasn't a thing back in the day, I would probably have stick to just whatever title I found at the time.
Yeah. Did you have access to the internet in your family with your family as you were younger?
No.
No.
No. I lived my entire life without internet, and it was when I moved back into Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up figuring out what the internet was.
Holy fuck!
And I was interested in checking out what people were doing, like what exactly was the review. And YouTube wasn't really that popular during that time, but when it started to get updates and a new look, I started using it, and I started noticing people like posting video games on there and the Let's Plays, and that's what I was focusing on, doing Let's Plays. And I wanted to become a YouTuber myself, but I didn't have the necessary tools to do it. And I remember one time I tried to become a YouTuber, and it was during the times that I was still in Florida, was young, and I had my Xbox. And I tried to make it look professional as possible, but with someone with a phone as a camera, it looks so terrible.
Oh my gosh, that must have sucked for you.
In the audio, you can hear my entire fan in the background along with my AC unit.
Jinx.
And my only audio for the game was my TV. Like, the speakers had to be at least at 50 in order for the camera to pick it up. And I'm like, no, this is not it. This is not what I'm looking for. And so I gave up on that. I looked forward to, like, making my own studio. And I told my dad, like, Dad, you gotta help me. I'm trying to make this work. Can you at least spare something? And I'm like, and he told me, like, obviously I'm not gonna be able to get everything you want. So I think the only opportunity you'll have is to look for a job. And so after my high school year, after I finished graduating, I was going to go into college, but I gave up on that because they wanted me to get like what program I wanted to go into. They wanted me to get like a 9 or 10 above, and I was below that, like a 4 to 2.
What do you mean?
Like,
what is that?
Damn,
9 to 10, 4 to 2. What does that mean?
Okay, so basically, like, it tells you like the average IQ in their school. So like, I'll say around like mine is 4 to 2, so that would be like 40 to 20 on mathematics. For mathematics is 40, and 20 is science. But they also wanted me to do algebra, along with what's it called? Not science, but also reading, since my reading was kind of off. Obviously, I didn't want to stick through the year because obviously I wanted to help my family. I said, no, screw that. I'm skipping that, and I'm gonna look for a job. So it took me like a year to find a job. And I ended up I ended up getting a job that was close to home, so I can walk to it. It was I work at a cafeteria, a school cafeteria, that's not far from here. And so I ended up earning money through that. I ended up buying the equipment that I needed, and I started saving more. And I ended up getting all my stuff that I needed for streaming.
So how long did it take you?
And so it took me roughly an entire year to collect all of that. But started streaming a little bit early, but my equipment was kind of wonky and it was glitchy. So I wanted to upgrade. So
Shit.
after that, I ended up purchasing an upgrade every month that I got paid. Well, actually, I get paid every 2 weeks, but I ended up using that money to get what I needed. And then when I was ready to get my final item, I ended up wasting all the money that I earned and bought that, which was the CPU.
Yeah, that's my next thing. So being I assume at the time it felt like it was taking forever. Did it? Did it feel like that, or what do you think?
It took forever. It literally took forever, yes. But the timing and like just the sheer will of waiting was worth it, because obviously I it was worth getting. It was worth waiting because obviously my streaming and all the other stuff didn't basically been made in a day. And so I'm glad I waited because other stuff was coming out and I took advantage of that, like checking out what the new stuff was and putting it into my computer. And honestly, it made things much more better. And so waiting is worth it. Waiting is worth it.
So I guess I guess the lesson behind that is, hard work actually does pay
Be
off.
patient. Yeah, hard work does pay off.
Does it feel pretty good to have work so hard and have shit to show for it?
Not exactly. Uh, there's obviously there's still a lot of other stuff that I would like, but I can't now because of bills and everything that I had to
Same.
basically ignore at the time. But now I feel like I should have wanting to pay it. But during my beginning of streaming, I didn't had that focus of speaking now that I am now, because like I was mostly in audience. I was mostly like scared of audiences, a bigger crowd. And so I ended up meeting someone who pushed me forward and helped me advance to getting affiliate and stuff.
Yeah.
And she ended up changing my way of thinking of how to stream. And I ended up taking her advice and count, and I ended up becoming where I am now with streaming. And when I met the people that I am now with in VRC, I realized, okay, this is where I need to be. Obviously, I am a VR chat enthusiast, or how do you say, like a VR chat gamer.
Yeah.
But I'm also wanting to branch out and try other things, because like everything else that has happened now, I kind of feel bored of doing the exact same thing, and I want to branch out and try other things. But
Yeah.
talking to people and giving them advice is one of the focus I want to give them.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I try to share as much information as I can. I try not to bullshit people too much. I mean, if I am, I told you how I'm doing that thing. If you ever wanted to, if you didn't want to speak in part or anything, you could be a stand-in. What a stand-in is it like, if I play two characters, when I play one character, I need someone to stand in for me. You could always try doing shit like that, trying to write like short, like 3-4 minute sketches. They don't necessarily have to be funny, but I think that it's really good that you're trying to branch out and expand your brand. That's a big step. I mean, it's important because even if you fail, you'll know that your brand is so much stronger for what it is. I mean, you've got like 1,050 followers.
Yeah, that's true. But like, there's still weaknesses that I have along with my strength. It's like, for instance, if you were to ask me what my strength and weakness are, my strength is having to basically make friends. That's my strength. And when I'm with people, making say like a group of friends, and I'm in one of them, I speak out because obviously they're talking, and I could just butt in and like give my opinion on things. Another thing is strength of mine is thinking independently.
What do you mean?
The think of
Oh
the
shit.
only like think of my own. Oh
Yeah,
shoot.
I fixed it. I fixed it.
Think of. I mean, like take advice from people, but think of my own ideas to envision better.
What do you mean?
Envision it better.
Like better? Like if you could explain
Like
that a bit more thoroughly.
like okay, like for instance, like somebody told me to basically if you want to like get better, try to brand out and make videos of yourself or clips, put them on certain places like YouTube or TikTok, because obviously TikTok is growing a lot and it will be easier to brand out and tell people who you are. And so I took his advice, but I wanted to make it on my own idea, like come up with things that instead of like following what he does, like showing off his clips, I would come up and brand off and do something else, like a hilarious video, but adding just the audio, but doing the animation inside VR chat. You know, like I'm not sure if you've seen any of them in TikTok, but there's like a lot of people doing VR chat videos. They're not talking in VR. They're just mimicking what the audio in
Yeah, I
the
know what you're
video
talking about.
is doing.
I know TikTok instead of goes get ready, wreck, son. But you do it with like you and your friend or whatever.
Yes.
But you do it in VR chat. God, I remember like
Yeah.
at the early days of TikTok when it was just a ghost town of nothing. Of anytime you see anybody, it would just be them like mimicking whatever the audio was.
No, yeah, it used to be just like Vine was like the biggest thing in YouTube.
And Chive
And then after
Vine.
that,
I
it
hate
died.
those stuff.
It died, and then it went to TikTok. It was just much more of a quick thing now.
Yeah, that whole fucking TikTok and Zoom shit just fucking came out of goddamn nowhere last year. Like, fucking out of left field, all of a sudden, whoa, what the cum was that? And it's fucking TikTok and fucking Zoom. Like, so you know, I gotta fucking learn the whole history of goddamn Zoom overnight.
I never actually heard of Zoom. What is that?
Zoom is like China's Skype.
Oh, wait, what?
It's Chinese
This is
Skype.
a bad idea. Like, have you not heard of Discord?
Discord. Well, see, when I try to explain Discord to anybody over 30, they're like, just use Apple. Just use Apple Video. I'm like, yeah, but you can't share your screen. What do you mean? Yes, you can. And I'm like, no. I mean, I cannot show you what I am doing. I can't. I was like, because I tried to get a graphic designer to said, you know, I'll tell you what, just use Discord, you share your screen, and I'll walk you through the logo. He's like, what do you mean, just use Apple? I'm like, no, I don't have Apple. I'm like, well, what do you mean you don't have Apple? I'm like, I don't use it's just really hard to explain to people. But Zoom really blew up last year. It really did. So you can have like, I don't know, 20 people and have like 20 have 20 cameras running at once, everybody, and then someone can control each person. Without getting too political into it, there's a lot of Chinese products that are being being happily adopted, while we also complain about Chinese overtaking our market. Man, those Chinese are taking over our market. While you're using Zoom, right? While you're using Zoom, and you can see your kid. You can see your kid playing Genshin Impact in the background. It's pretty ridiculous. But with the European company that I work for, both European companies that I work for, we use Skype. Yeah, Skype. Just use Skype, right? I know it's hard to describe Discord to anybody over the age of 30. Shame on you. Shame. Remember, you went to class. These people go to class and they're taught the words like computer literacy, right? Well, how computer literate are you? It's like now nobody can even fucking figure out how to fucking find their kids' photos. But I don't know. But it seems like you've come a really long way. What are some things that some important things that you think you've learned from your experience so far?
From what, like an experience of VR or gaming
of
in general?
streaming and create. Oh,
You re-
and creating content.
well, well, there's a lot that I've learned over the past few
The most
years
important things, like
of
the
just
things that
being a
everybody
streamer.
needs to know.
Oh, okay, well, there's basically no swearing, no, not swearing, but like no the bad things being in chat. Obviously, the N word.
Yeah,
Like I've had
everybody
that
knows
for quite a
that.
while now in the
The
past.
gamer word, everybody knows that's a silly word.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then there's also branding off. Well, no, not branding off. That was actually before. There's a lot that I've learned that I don't even remember doing because I just finished all of it. But it was taking in consideration of what people like to watch. Because I always check my analysis on my Twitch page to check out what people are streaming. And back in the day, before I started being on VRC a lot, I was also like looking at that and checking out what people are watching, and I decided to hop onto that game to see if I can catch them off guard and saying like, "Oh, I'm playing this now." But somebody else gave me advice to say like, "Don't listen to that." Obviously, because like you're wanting to play something else, obviously.
What do you mean? Damn it!
Like,
What do you mean?
like for instance, like some people could be interested in playing like Genshin Impact, but I'm interested in playing something else in general. Someone gave me an advice and said, "Don't listen to that, and just play whatever you want if you feel bored." So that's what I decided to do, is just follow whatever I wanted to do.
And how do you think your experiences so far have changed you, if at all?
Well, I'm more of a before I started doing that and I got better at it, I started speaking up more. I started giving my own opinions and telling them about it. I started growing more my Discord channel, giving basically making friends on my channel, viewers and stuff, and getting to know them more. Maybe that's the whole my whole strength there, is just to listen to what they're saying and hear their opinion on how everything's going. Not exactly sure.
No, I mean that's cool. I mean, like if you were to give a message to somebody who wants to do what you do, what's the best advice you think you could give them?
I think the best advice is like trying to look for better. I look for great ideas. Don't ever think that any idea that you come up with is stupid. Just go with the flow. Try anything new, and see if it works. And if it doesn't, try something else. Another thing is that try to be very talkative with people, because everybody wants to hear from you and like know more about you, or basically you talking to them and hearing what they have to say, and getting to know them better. That's my advice, at least. I think I can do much more better, but I haven't got it in mind right now, because like, oh gosh, I'm still tired.
So what are you looking forward to doing in the future?
Well, I don't really necessarily know. It's like I don't have any plans besides what I'm working on now. I think that would be the focus that I want to do. Then in the future, I would like to see if I can have more better communication with my community and start like becoming more of a community gaming center or something like that. I don't know, like being able to like play with friends is the most strongest thing I have.
Damn cats.
And if I try to do better at that, I will probably grow more. So I have to try to at least think of something that would benefit for everyone to like get together and play.
Well, sounds exciting. Thanks for coming out, yo. I really appreciate it. Everybody, we've been talking with Joeyrock51. Don't forget to go and follow them on Twitch. And before you do that, make sure you send me a follow, because I have another video interview coming out with a boxer on Monday. So that's going to be exciting too. Joey, it's been really fun. I'm glad to have you here. I look forward to hanging out with you in the future.
Yeah, no problem. Man. Thank you so much for letting me be here.
Oh no, I'm glad you're here. And once again, thanks for coming out. It's been fucking awesome. Bye, everybody.